Ladies and gentlemen, he's got no less than 18 TT motorcycle podiums. He's fronted 50 hours of primetime documentaries. And one of his claims to fame is that he once went 12 months without having any MOTs failed on any of his trucks. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Guy Martin.
All right.
How are you? All right?
A few folk here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I don't know what I should do. I should shake your hand. I don't know. What do we do?
No, you're all right.
I'm a bit nervous.
Have you
Yeah,
come straight from work?
My missus picked me up. What time did I finish? I was in at 5:30 this morning, and she came and picked me up at 2 o'clock. I bike to work, so she came and picked me up in my van, and then we drove here. We had a pint down the road, so it's been all right. Yeah, I've been at work since 5:30. It's all right.
Not bad a journey for you, is it, from Grimsby to come down here?
No, Grimsby, we're at Elsham now. I work in Elsham, not Grimsby now. It's only
Right.
just down the road, other end of the M180. No, what did it take us? About an hour and a half. Yes, great job. Had a pint. And breathe.
Excellent. And a brew, of course. And we'll get to that in a minute. Let's just establish, first of all, what you are. Because you do telly, you race bikes, and you're a mechanic.
Yeah.
So what's your job? What
My job,
order
I'm a
would you
truck
put them in?
mechanic. I'm a truck mechanic. That's my number one thing. My hobby is racing motorbikes, which, to be honest, I ain't given over with. I've just changed my direction now of... It was motorbike. It was motorbike racing. Now I'm just building daft things in my shed to go do daft things. We'll get onto that later, because how long are we here for? We're here for an hour.
Hours
Oh,
gone.
right. Well,
all night we're here.
We're all right. And then, the TV stuff, which has opened some bloody interesting doors. Done some right interesting things. But we'll get onto all that. But I've never gone away from number one, which is my job, which is the trucks. That's been everything else. That's always come in front of everything. Everything else has had to fit in around that. Everything.
I know that fame sits a little uncomfortably.
Oh, I'm not famous. I'm not bloody famous. I'm not a celebrity. I'm none of that. I'm just
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you've reached A-list celebrity because you've had an animal named after you. This was in the papers last week. Let's have a look.
Oh, is that right? Bloody hell.
What do you think?
Guy the sheep.
Yeah?
Guy the sheep.
Guy the sheep. It was in the Daily Mail, so it must be true.
Bloody hell. Is that right? What do you reckon?
With the sideburns, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks what? Yeah, you're right, boy. You're right.
Let's not go down the pretty sheep route.
Yeah. I look like I've been dragged through edge backwards there, don't I? Hey? Interesting, mate. Interesting.
Yeah. So where do you feel this, you just said there, I'm not a celebrity. You've always hated the fact that television has kind of brought, fame, for want of a better word, that you've shunned, really. I mean, you're screwing your face up, but why does it not sit very well with you? How does it affect you, and is it something that you're scared of might change your life in some way?
That's an hard question. I don't, because I don't know how to answer that. I struggle with it. I've always been a truck mechanic, and that's what I still am now, and that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm good at. I'm a good truck mechanic. I'm good at my job. And then the TV stuff has brought all this attention with it, which I don't want. But then I've got to offset. Look what the TV. Look at the doors that it opens, and look at the opportunities that I get. Look what it's done. Look, it paid to take the bike that I built in my shed to America to go and race it up Pikes Peak, which had doing my normal job, trucks. I'd probably had to save up for 5 years to be able to get the bike to America to go and do the race. But, with a TV job, it happened just like that. Yeah. To go race my transit van over there, to go and try and ride a motorbike over water for as far as possible, for racing a push bike down the beach at 112.94 mile an hour. It's just, I've never forgot that. That's the scariest thing I've ever done in my life is that push bike down Pendine Sands, 112.94 mile an hour. I will never forget that. The scariest thing I've ever done. So I've got to try and get it right in my head.
Some bits
the trucks mechanic don't get a chance to do those things, but that's what I am. So I have got to accept
Yeah.
a bit of it because, I struggle to put it into words. We might need a psychologist.
I think we know what you mean. I mean, it's nice to cherry pick the bits that suit you, that open doors for you, but there's some bits that you don't like. But I think
the fame side of things, I don't want the attention, I don't like. But I've met so many interesting people.
Yeah.
I've met so many, I just think, I'd never have met him without the TV stuff.
Who was that, sorry?
Just loads of people, like the Williams F1 people, the boys doing the AI stuff, that I've used down the line when I've been doing a barra job at home or I've been building something for myself in my shed that I just thought, I would never have met those people without the television. So I've got to try and offset it. I've got to try,
And here we are tonight celebrating your what you've been doing on telly and mesmerising us for the last, 9 years?
9 years, yeah.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to chat with Guy for the next, hour or so, and then we're going to open the floor to questions. So have a think. Maybe if you failed an MOT test recently, this is your man right here to get some personal insight. But let's go back then. Let's go back 9 years.
Go on.
Can you remember how you got into television in the first place?
Yeah, it's dead simple. It all started. Well, it's not that simple. The company that was filming the Isle of Man TT, where I was racing at the time, I've raced at Isle of Man TT since 2004, and I only packed in racing there last year. Anyway, the company that filmed the Isle of Man TT was an Isle of Man-based company called Greenlight Television. Anyway, it changed, I think, in 2009, to North One Television. Mm-hmm. And obviously, they took over the filming of the TT, and they wanted to film all the top riders. They wanted to film what they did in preparation for the Isle of Man TT. So I thought, and they rings me up and they says, we want to come and film your TT preparation. I said, well, I don't really do much, mate, really. I says, I just go to work, I fix me trucks. And they says, I'll come and film that. And I thought they maybe thought that I was having them on, and they came and filmed me at work and saw that, he does fix trucks and he's into it. And that's where it all started from. They could genuinely see that when they come to film my TT preparation, they could see that, he's just a truck mechanic and he's into it. And it all started from there. They must have then had this idea. They sold this idea to the BBC then, and we went and did this boat series.
But before that happened, because you were decorating your mate's house, weren't you, when they were making this, what's called in the industry, a taste the tape. Because they knew you were a truck mechanic, but they also had fallen in love with you at that stage, because they saw something just a little bit different from the normal television presenter scenario.
I don't like that word.
I know you don't.
TV presenter,
No, that's not you, is it?
Well, look, we did something, was it 2 years ago, and I said I just felt like a bloody TV presenter. I felt like a bloody TV... Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just, because I'm a bloody... I just felt like,
You're all right, Guy. I've paid my bills for the last 22 years doing this.
We'll get on later, because we're here for a bit, aren't we? We'll get on to why I thought that. We'll get on to that in a bit, yeah.
But you, in the industry, this Taste the Tape became a thing of legend. Now, I was presenting the Gadget Show at the time, so I remember all this kicking off. And they said,
with North One Television, yeah.
So we've got this guy, it's really, have a look at this. Anyway, there was a part of the Test the Tape that Jay Hunt at the time saw, and she thought, this is the guy we need. And this is what sold it.
Bloody hell, that's a week or two ago, that. Bloody hell, that'd be 10 years ago, wasn't it? Thick end of 10 years ago. I had all my teeth then.
Have you knocked a few out since then?
I've knocked a few out since then,
yeah.
I'm mouth like a Bontown village. I don't know if you can understand that. You've got a mouth like a Bontown village. That's what they say about me.
Bombed-out village?
Yeah, you see, translate that in Lincolnshire, a mouth like a burnt-out village.
Oh, burnt-out village.
Yeah, you see. Bloody gob like a Bontown village.
Well, they look pretty good from here.
The Boltons. That smashed them out, yeah.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
What else would they say? They say, you just need a white for a snooker set. I'd smashed my teeth. That was all right in then, and then I've smashed them out. Yeah, I just need a white for a snooker set. You have to be there. You have to be there, yeah.
So, just the tea thing, because we've just had a cup of tea.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Haven't we? Yeah, and your lovely girlfriend Sharon made us the tea.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
And she said you have to put the milk in first, so it's clearly spread around your group because the Queen puts the milk in last, I believe.
I'm not saying I'm right. That's just how I prefer it.
Right.
and I prefer my milking. I'm milking first. Put your milk in tea bag, then your hot water. Where you go?
And is it just
Mash it
always builder's tea for you, or do you have a bit of Lapsang Souchong or a bit of green, bit of? I know what the
There's
answer
odd
is here.
times. No, I'm not lying. There's odd times I'd have an Earl Grey.
Oh,
Only odd
exotic.
times, yeah. Only
Yeah.
odd times. But no, it's Yorkshire Tea Gold. I did see when we was in the back there. We was on about that.
What's
There was-
Yorkshire?
Yorkshire Tea Gold. Yorkshire Tea Gold. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a Rolls Royce, mate. Tea Gold, yeah.
So after the old taster tape that we saw a little bit of there,
Yeah.
then you went into doing the first show really that you'd been involved with.
The boat that Guy
the
built.
boat
Yeah.
that Guy built. There it is. We remember that one, don't we?
They say that then I've got my missing teeth in then. That's why I'd smashed them out. I'd smashed them out doing that show. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not your teeth. They're the
No, they're Boltons, yeah.
Okay, the Boltons.
Yeah. No, to be honest, no, they wasn't. At that stage, they were false teeth. They were like glue-in false teeth.
Hang
'Cause
on, how did you smash them out anyway?
on a boat, stepping from the jetty to the boat, I slipped and smashed all my teeth out. I smashed all my jaw, and it was it. I was at the hospital at night because I'd no teeth in the front, and I was spitting bits of what I thought was teeth out, and it wasn't teeth. I got in there and they said, "Oh no, that's bits of your jaw," because my teeth were all in one piece. But it never hurt, honestly, it never hurt, because I think it must just ripped all the nerves out, just shoved the teeth under my nose, and it shattered all my jaw. So at that stage, I had false teeth in, and then there was just the bone grafted jaw in. But it was it, yeah. All part of it, wasn't it? All part of it. All part of it, yeah.
Do you think you've got quite a high pain threshold?
No, yeah, well. But I'm sort of, I do like it, but we'll get onto that. I do like a bit of pain. But we'll get onto that. How long we got? We'll get onto it, yeah.
So there we are then. The boat that Guy built, massive success, and then
My mate Maeve, did it with my mate Maeve.
with Maeve,
Maeve's
your
the man.
friend,
Maeve's the man.
and then moved on to this, How Britain Worked.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
staying in the sort of history of things, which I know is something that's very close to your heart. You love a bit of history, don't you?
Definitely.
So here we are, Channel 4, big show for them, How Britain Worked. And what were your favourite parts of that then? Because you got to do quite a lot of stuff in that one, didn't you?
Bloody hell. Getting in the firebox with Monkey. I was doing loads of rare things on that one, but with panel beating, a lot of it was done around the Midlands.
You were on the Severn Valley Railway, weren't you?
Yeah. A Monkey in the firebox. I remember, I'll never forget that. In this firebox all day. Bloody great. Yeah, panel. Yeah, but that was yonks ago. I struggle remembering some of the stuff that we was doing then. I struggle remembering. Yeah,
Well-
panel beating. Yeah, there's loads of stuff, mate. There's loads of stuff that we did.
And that experience, or those two experiences, did you start to realise that, actually this is quite good, this telly lark, because you can do loads of good, cool stuff?
What I did, I had a big change from the boat that Guy built to that, because the boat that Guy built, I was working for my dad at the time, as I had done for 10 years. What happened was I took 6 weeks off work to go and film the boat that Guy built. And, you're just young, I was just young, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got to do that for 6 weeks. Not really understanding that, my dad was like getting on 60-year-old. What do you mean? He'd been over 60. And sort of the business relied on me a good bit, and and I took the piss. I took 6 weeks off work, and I got sacked. My dad sacked me. And my dad would try and pretty it up and say a load of other things.
Your dad sacked you?
My dad sacked me because and there was a load of things that built up to me. It was me taking the piss, but having this time off, getting done for ball tyres on my van that he had to get the points for because the van was registered to him. And it was all my fault. Just me trying to just be the lad. And then they came to me after the first series of the boat that Guy built and says, do you want to do another? And I says, to be honest, my mate Maeve, he was a better man at it than what I was, because he could talk to a camera. I can't talk to a camera. You look now, I still can't talk to a camera. They have to stand the bloke next to the camera. And I have to talk to him. And I can't
That's become your style, though, hasn't it?
Well, it's not a style that I try and do. That's just how I am. I cannot talk to a camera because there's no one there, is there? I'm not talking to anyone, so you have to stand. So I says, look, Maeve's a better man at it than me. Just give the job to him, and I'll just go back and work for my dad. Because he'd sat me, and I try and get the job back. And they says, look, we'll do it however you want to do it. And then from then on, and that's what we're still doing now. We just did a couple of days a week, and that's worked a treat from then on. That's how we,
Okay.
So we've spent the past 8 years just doing a couple of days a week for 6 months of the year.
And So after those two, it kind of all changed in the TV role, didn't it? It came much more powerful, much more adrenaline-fueled speed. And I want to just bring you right up to date now, because outside you may have seen the Formula One car. Did you see that? Okay, so later, Guy's going to pop out and do some photographs out there.
Trick.
Is that right?
A trick. FWOHC, yeah. It's a trick. It's been a right honour to be involved with that, yeah.
So this is your latest project. So let's just have a little look at what's going on with that.
Yeah, spot on.
Whoa,
That's a
project, isn't it? And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Guy will exclusively announce who he will be racing against. Who is the Formula One superstar you're racing against?
Jenson Button. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You all said about it, well, they said about it ages ago, and I thought, well, that'll never happen, will it? Anyway, it is happening.
Yeah?
It's happening Thursday before the British Grand Prix. So
is it the Thursday of the British Grand Prix?
Yes.
Yes, at Silverstone.
Yeah.
So do you know him, gents?
No, I was on about that earlier. I said, how am I ever going to have met Jenson Button? And I said, he doesn't drive the bloody bin wagon at work, does he? He doesn't... does he? How would a man like me ever meet a man like that? You know, our paths are never going to cross. You know, he's not... Is he? Yeah, what? So, no, I don't know him, but I'm sure he's a great bloke. I know he's right into his triathlons. So, yeah, we've a bit in common when it comes to that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Do you want to know what to do to beat him?
Yeah, T-bone him in the first corner.
Okay.
Yeah, take us both out.
There is that, but that is a classic car you're going to be messing up if you do that.
I don't want to be doing that.
What you want to do with gents...
Go on.
Give him
you know him.
I know him.
Go on.
A couple of beers beforehand.
Is
Destroyed.
Is that right?
Yep, absolutely.
Is that right?
Once it was his birthday at the airport, and we had a bottle of champagne. 6 of us were drinking it. By the time we got to the bottom, he was out of it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Noted.
Lightweight.
Noted, right. Sniff of the bar lady's apron. Okay.
Yeah. Lightweight,
Okay.
but extremely fast.
Yeah,
so
he's the man.
can you beat him?
Well, we've got to understand. He's going to drive. This is as far as I know at this point in time. He's going to drive FW08B, right?
Yep.
Which you wouldn't know what. If you know what that is, I'll be impressed. You don't know what that is.
No, go on.
No, that's the six-wheeler. That's the six-wheeler,
Yep.
but that's the ground effect six-wheeler.
Yep.
Right, and I'm in FW08C, which was the first year of non-ground effect with Keke Rosberg car, 83 car. So really, he should smoke me. His car should be way better than mine, but I was talking to Frank Durney at Thruxton a couple of weeks ago, who was the bloke that was the brains behind all the ground effect. He says there is no one there that knows how that ground effect works, so that car will never work to its potential. So I think I could have a chat. But he's a bloody Formula One. He's a world champion, Formula One world champion. So how can I ever beat him?
Yeah.
Right, but my car's a bit more proven
Yeah.
than his car. His car was never raced. There was never allowed to race that six-wheeler. So are we going to do something like we did with David Coulthard at Silverstone, where he was in the Red Bull V8, the last of the V8s, and I was on my BMW Superbike, and I think he had to do 5 laps in the time I did. Now, how did we work it?
3 laps.
He had to do 3 laps in the time I did 4.
He did 4. Oh.
Hang on. Anyway, is that how we did it?
I don't know,
how did we do it? How did we do it? He had to do 4 laps in the time I did 3.
You did 3 and DC did 4.
Right. Because that's, if you looked at the time that a bike could do around there and a time a car should do around there, he should have been able to do 4 laps in the time I did 4. He should have been able to do 3 laps in the time I did 4. So I think, but he's not going to be that. All right, he's going to be faster than me, but is he going to be that much faster?
Well, that's the question. What about the DFE engine?
The DFE, the Cosworth DFE, yeah. For me, that was...
How excited are you about that? Because you've had to build this car, learn to race it, and then you're going to race it. So I know you love that engine, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that's the world's most successful Formula One engine. And I don't exactly know. I think did it win 15 world championships or something like that? There is no Formula One engine. The Cosworth DFE, it went through a few, it evolved slightly, but it was the same engine. It
and
won
sports
everything.
cars and Le Mans. I mean, it really did win.
Yeah, well, it
so
got bought
much,
out and they
didn't
went IndyCar racing with it, and then it got turbocharged in America. It was just an amazing engine. A benchmark. But then the more research you do into it, then you realise, bloody like Keith Duckworth, the brains behind the Cosworth DFE, he took a lot of ideas from the likes of the the Rolls-Royce Merlin and the Daimler 603X, which is the Messerschmitt engine. He took some of the best ideas from existing piston engines and put them into the most successful Formula One engine of all time. Right. I know I suppose it's coming fairly. It is the HPP engine that's currently raced at the moment. It's won every World Championship since the rules changed. Was it 2014? When the 1.6 era came in.
I like the way you're pointing at me as if I know these stats.
But yeah, anyway, that's won every championship since the rule change. But really, I mean, that's a massively successful engine. But that's still only won 4 championships. And I don't know, are they going to win it this year? Ferrari's pushing at them now, aren't they? I think Vettel's leading.
Vettel's leading at the moment, because he won the Canadian.
Yeah. So just look at that. That's a massively successful engine. It is. Still only won 4 championships. So that's won like 15 and 16, exactly. Something like that. Yeah, amazing.
So let's just...
I'm getting excited about engines.
I know, I love
to do with engines, I get excited.
I could speak to you all day, but I'm not sure that everybody would quite appreciate it if we keep banging on about double 4 valves. But anyway, speed with Guy Martin. Obviously, that's moved on from what you started with that series.
Yeah, we're doing the old stuff with the boat, and then with how Britain worked. Yeah, that was just doing old stuff, which was great. I learned loads, met loads of interesting folk.
You had some fantastic. You watched Speed, right? You watched you did some fantastic things in that. So what was your favourite challenge looking back?
Like I said, the push bike behind the truck, 112.94 mile an hour. What year did we do that? Can you remember what year? What year did we do that?
Don't know. Was it 2014, something like that?
It'd have been something like that,
14. 13, 14?
To this point in time, that is the scariest thing I have ever done.
Yeah.
112.94 on a push bike behind a truck, down Pendine Sands. But that was great. Scared the shit out of me. It was bloody great. But for satisfaction, there's loads. We've done loads of things. I've had loads of stuff. That was the Wall of Death. That was a bloody
I'll tell you what,
great achievement.
Before we get to the Wall of Death, because that was a sort of later show, wasn't it? It was staying on speed for a minute.
That was a standalone show. That wasn't part of a series.
One of your specials, wasn't it? Which was tremendous. We'll talk about that in a second. But in speed, I think it's fair to say that you were pretty good at crashing.
I'm fair hand at crashing. Yeah.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah. Go on, let's have a look. I was fair hand at crashing, mate. I scratched my bloody helmet.
And
that was a big crash, that go-kart job. 85 mile an hour, that was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were setting a record there, but what was going through your mind then when you realised that you'd lost it?
No, I knew what was going to happen. I knew exactly the whole...
But before you started?
I know, yeah, honestly. What happened was, we was finding with this go-kart, because we only had a certain... We was at Mont Ventoux, south of France. That's where we was doing it. We was mucking about all day because we had the road to ourselves. I reckon we must have had it for about 6 hours, right? And we had a mate of mine in the tranny, and we just kept towing it to the top, resetting and going again, and then stopping at the bottom. And every time we put a bit more weight in there, we went a little bit faster. And we set the record at 85 point something mile an hour. And we was doing one last run because I said they wanted to get some camera shots. They had their helicopter there and they wanted to do some camera shots. Just do one last run. In motorbike racing or racing of anything, never to say that's the last one. We'll just do one more. And that's what this was. And I says to the boys, right, we're doing one more for camera shots. I says, right, shit or bust here, right? We had loads of bottles of water. At this time, we'd been putting a couple of bottles of water in at a time. So we might have been adding like 1 kilo at a time, just here. And we'd maybe done 10 runs. So we'd put maybe 10 kilos in. And for this last run, I says, look, boys, this was the lasses, and they was all for it. The lasses, they designed the thing and built the thing from scratch. The lasses at it's Alham University, just down the road.
Because it was built here.
Yeah, Alham University, just up the road. Real switched on lasses. And I says, come on, lass, go big or go home. Let's shit or bust here. Shit or bust. And I was egging them on. I says, come on, it's the last one. Let's just go for it. And we slung 30 extra kilos in. 30 extra kilos. I said, if we're going to do it, aren't we? We're going to do it. And I says, right, it's on me. If anyone says that, I said, just blame me. It's all on my head. Anyway, that's what happened. So we set off. We set off from the top of the run, and you went round one little corner, which you had to brake for before you got onto the main run. So you was maybe doing 30 mile an hour around this little left-hander. And then once you got out of that left-hander, you was downhill all the way to the finish, and you had a small braking area. And I braked to go around this left-hander at the top before we got onto the main run, which we was hopefully going to do 90 mile an hour. hopefully. And we'd done 85 mile an hour previously. So I got round that left-hander, but I braked going into that left-hander, and I thought, oh, bloody hell. It locked the back end up straight away, and I thought, oh, this ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. The sensible thing to do then would have just been to brake gradually and come to a control stop, take all the water out and go again. But I just thought, can I swear?
Would you be swearing all night?
I just thought, fuck it, shit or bust. I did, sorry about that. I just thought, well, I'm not going to have to worry about that again until I come to stop, which hopefully the record will be done then. And anyway, you can see there, going down that hill, obviously, I went around the first corner, I thought, oh, that was a bit... So I got all the way down the run into the small braking area, and I just thought, well, now I've got to stop. But the thing started getting unstable, and I knew this was going to be a problem. But I just thought, I'll worry about that then. I ain't got to worry about that now. I've got, like 20 seconds of trying to go as fast as I can.
Tranquility.
Fuck it, be right. It'll sort itself out. It'd be right. Obviously, it wasn't right, because I came to brake in the real small braking area. Yeah, and it got a bit squirrely, and then I just thought, my options were, right, let off the brakes, keep the car settled, and just crash straight into that barrier, which would have been straight in front of me. I'd have just gone straight into it like that at, 90 mile an hour. Yeah. Would have been messy. Yeah. Or keep braking, roll it, crash as best, and I just thought, well, if I go straight into that, I'm gonna die. Or I can try and roll it and then just try and make the best of a bad job. And that's what I did. Tried to make the best of a bad job. And they made a right job. It was because it was all, when they was building it, they said, well, we've got to build it just in case it rolls and in case you have a front impact. I said, don't worry about that. We just want to go fast. Don't worry about that. And it's a bloody good job they did. It's a bloody good job they did build it with all this in mind. Because, I probably wouldn't have been sat here now if they hadn't built it with that in mind. Yeah, but it was bloody great. It was bloody great.
And hearing you talking about that...
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I was into it.
It makes me feel that, isn't it extraordinary in the amount of split seconds that you had, really, to decide what you were going to do. You decided not to keep the brakes off and go straight because you knew what would happen.
Yes.
But all this is happening so fast in your brain, so you are very good at crashing.
Yeah. Well, I've been racing motorbikes for years, and you're always crashing motorbikes. If you're not crashing, you're not trying.
Right, you're not going to the limit.
Yeah. So I was a fair hand at crashing, and I'm still walking. I'm all right. I'm still walking. So I've done so much right. But you've got to know when enough is enough, and that's why I've sort of took a step back from that type of motorbike racing. Yeah.
And just one more thing before we move on. When that's happening to you, is there any part of your brain that's going in slow motion that gives you extra time to think?
No, but your brain becomes accustomed to going fast because that year I've been racing all the road races. I've been racing bikes, I've been racing the Isle of Man. So you're doing 200 mile an hour all the time, and your brain gets accustomed to doing that. So when you're in a situation like that, you've got loads of time to think. What I think is loads of time, because you're used to doing that. But if you went and put me in that situation now, I'd panic. But then I was accustomed to it. But if I built up to it over a couple of weeks, I'd be all right.
Well, it's good that you're all right.
I think I know what I'm talking
and
about.
Did you watch Wall of Death, ladies and gents? Did you watch that live? You did it live? I know.
Live. I thought there was Brave Buggers putting that on live. But it wasn't. You've got to know that it wasn't live because what was it? Danny, it was about a 7-minute delay. Was it a 7-minute delay?
It's essentially live, isn't it?
Yeah. Because if I came off and skewered myself on some of the and it was just a bloodbath. They had time to do something and try and I don't know what they was going to do.
But they'll come back with a bit of a chat show format just with that guy.
Yeah.
But
right. They had all eventualities covered. That if it did go wrong, then they had a bit of a window in which to sweep the blood up and the guts and
Let's have a look then at this world record run that you did.
That's the first time I've seen that.
I was going to say, you don't watch your stuff
No,
back,
I don't have a
do
telly.
you?
Well, we only got a telly just before Christmas. I've never seen any of my own stuff. Yeah.
So what did you think?
Yeah, that looked a lot tamer sat here than it was
sure
sat on the
it
bike. Yeah, because what happened was...
Because didn't you do that blind, essentially?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
'cause what they'd learnt, or what I'd learnt on my build-up to the live programme was, doing the aerobatic stuff in the planes.
Yeah.
Because they don't know, you could be the fittest human being in the world, and you might deal with G-force. You deal
Differently.
with, very differently.
Yeah.
You could be a right fat knacker, but you could deal with G really well,
Yeah.
right? Or you could be the fittest man in the world, and you could take no G at all, which we was learning this. And I was very lucky in the way I dealt with G fairly well. Like I didn't just black out; I greyed out before I blacked out.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, no, that's what they use. That's the that's the term that they use.
I was going to ask you because flying in a fast jet, Red Arrows or whatever, you wear a G suit, obviously.
Yes.
And the feeling is extraordinary when the blood goes to different parts of your body, and obviously you go lighthearted, and that's why you can black out. And it makes you feel sick, doesn't it? But what did you have the same sort of feeling on the bike as you would in a fast jet? Did it kind of affect you in the same way?
Yeah, it was. It was pretty similar. Yeah, it's pretty similar. It just the thing with acrobatic planes was going from positive G to negative G. That was what made me feel sick. But on the wall of death, I was only ever feeling positive G. You see, when the aerobatics, you're going from a positive G, which would be pulling back on the stick, going in, and then suddenly going into a dive, which is negative G, and it's that sudden switch that made me feel sick.
Me too.
But if you was just doing one like constant negative G or constant positive G, you felt okay.
Yeah.
You felt okay. And what was happening there was, obviously it was just positive G. But the faster I went, obviously the harder my heart had to work to be able to get the blood to the brain. And it got to the point where it couldn't get the blood to the brain, so it would shut off.
So the blood stops going to your eye, effectively.
Yeah, well, it shuts the first things off first, what it can manage without. So obviously it doesn't want to take the blood away from the brain because you die, so it takes the blood away from extremities first, then it takes it away from your eyes, and then it takes it. So what happened there was it was taking it away from my eyes. So which is good because I got a warning before I completely blacked out. Before it took the blood away from my brain. So as I was accelerating up, my vision was just getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and then it was just going like a sparkly telly. You don't get sparkly tellies now, do you?
No.
When you used to get a fizzy screen. This was
when you turned it off.
Yeah,
when it went. I remember that. I will remember that. Let's not remember that.
Anyway, and that's what happened. So what I was doing there, I knew where the timing line was. Right. Yeah. So when I got to the timing line, I passed that. Say that was at 12 o'clock, and I got to 6 o'clock, and then I started accelerating at 6 o'clock. Right. So when I got back to the timing line, that's when the timer started. So by the time I got back to the timing line, I should be at speed. Right, so I got to the timing line, and I was at speed then, which was maybe, 80 odd miles an hour, maybe a bit more, right? And then by the time I got back to 6 o'clock, I couldn't see. So I was riding from 6 o'clock back to the start line blind, and I was just having to guess where the finish line was because I couldn't see anything. So I guessed where the finish line was and shut the throttle off, and then that's what it was, 78 mile an hour. But in the run up to it, in the morning before, I'd done 81 mile an hour. I had gone faster.
So but
on the live show, I had gone.
Yeah,
but the only reason I probably was going faster on that live show, but it was just because I'd guessed where the finish line was. I'd guessed wrong. I'd shut off too early because I couldn't bloody see. The only thing to do when you couldn't see was don't panic. Don't turn left, don't turn right. Just keep doing what you're doing. Because if I'd have suddenly put a steering input in, and I'd have gone to the top or I'd gone to the bottom, it would have been a bomb scene. It would have been like a bloody plane crash, wouldn't it? Well, it would have been like a bloody plane
Would have
crash.
actually used the 7 minutes well on television, that's for sure.
Yeah. They'd have needed all of that, wouldn't they? So what I thought was the line, I just shut the throttle off, wait for my vision to come back, come down, and then that's 78 mile an hour, which is bloody great.
Are you getting on all right there, girls? You're doing good. Excellent.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Just thought I'd check on them.
Yeah.
All good. And,
I do talk fast, don't I?
Yeah.
When I get into things.
No, they're doing a sterling job over there. But Guy, the
You're
wall of
earning
death.
your keep, girls. Hey.
It'll make you a cup of tea after.
Yeah.
You've actually got a bit of the wall of death in your house.
In my
right?
house, yeah. One full wall. one full wall in the house is, because that was a bit of a deal with the wall of death. I got all the wood from the wall of death. I got all the wood. And that genuinely was. I got all the wood, but I didn't realise it was 2 bloody trailer loads. It was 2 40-foot trailer loads.
Go and be honest, that's why you did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, bit of a deal, wasn't it? Bit of a deal. Yeah, and I was I was moving into this house at the time, and I thought, well, that'd be a bit cheaper, yeah, a bit cheaper. All the floorboards, because it was only just a big cowshed, and we've just turned, anyway. Anyway, so one of the walls in the house, from top to bottom, is the wall of death as it came off the proper wall of death, yeah.
Yeah.
Shazza, my missus, she numbered them all before it came down, so as it should be.
I've heard that it sounds absolutely beautiful in the house. I know you used to have engines in your house.
Bits of engines, yeah. Bits of engines.
You still got engines in the house?
Yeah, there's a few in there. How is it? There's my Martech in there. We've got a crankshaft out of a Daimler 603X. Got a valve, got a conrod on the kitchen top out of a steamboat. Got an inlet valve out of a 2-stroke ship. What other engine bits have we got? Messerschmitt crankshaft, yeah, I've told them that. Yeah, Messerschmitt crankshaft, yeah.
It sounds a bit like the old Bruce Forsyth.
There is. But then I've got my I don't know what you say, my favourite motorbike. But
in the house.
The bike that means the most to me is my Martech, my Pikes Peak bike. Yeah, that's in the bottom of the stairs.
Well,
trick.
You know what? You can't get them in IKEA, can you?
Yeah. You can't have them in a shed, mate.
Shall we? What I'd like to do now is put up a picture of your body. Inside of your body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, X-rays, because you've got a lot of metal in there.
Yeah,
Can you give us a guided tour of your anatomy via your crashes, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we got, so top left.
Oh, bloody hell, I don't know where that is, you know. I think that's...
Well, it's your body.
Yeah, I know, I think that's me back, isn't it?
It's your spine, isn't it, that?
Yeah, I think it's me back. And now the one on the right, the top right, that's another one of me back of that same view. But I've left all that in. I was going to get it taken out, but it meant more time off work.
Right, so this is after Ulster, isn't it?
After the Ulster Grand Prix 2015, yeah. But because I had previously broke my back in 2010, but I didn't need any metal work in it for that. And this on my hand is the same, that's the same accident in 2015. That all happened the same. And I think I broke about 8 bits of me back, 8 vertebrae. I broke my hand, I broke my sternum, I broke a lot of ribs, punctured a lung. Yeah, I did a load of stuff then. But that was only one crash there, but I've got metal in my leg. And I tell you what, which you wouldn't know. This is whilst I was in hospital for this. They said, we're going to put you for an MRI scan. They asked what job you do. I said, well, I'm a fitter. And they said, we won't put your head in the MRI scan. Because I said, and I didn't know, you wouldn't know this, but people have been blinded in MRI scans that, because if you've got a job like mine where you're dealing with metal and you're grinding stuff, you've got bits of metal in your eye that you don't know about. And when you go in an MRI scan, which is just a big magnet, it pulls those bits of metal out of your eyes that you don't know about and blinds you. Yeah, so they said they wouldn't risk doing that with me. So yeah, it was just interesting. I never knew that. You wouldn't know, would you?
You'd know about it then, wouldn't you?
Yeah. You'd know about it, yeah. You'd know about it, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. That's what happened. That's what happened, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll be all right. Whoever gets my scrap when whatever they do with my body at the end of it all, yeah, they'll be doing all right, won't they? They'll be doing all right.
I mean, when you see X-rays like that, but motorcycle racers, they all have bits of metal in their body and everything else, but it makes it more extraordinary that you go out and you've done the challenges and the things that you've done. I mean, in terms of being scared of anything, is there anything that you're scared of at all?
I don't know. I used to be scared of commitment and growing up and that. But I've got. I used to be that. But I've got a missus, Yeah. But I've got a missus and I've got a daughter now. So yeah, I'm not. Now I think, it's great, really. It's great. So yeah, I'm not scared of that now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I'm scared of.
It's good to know, isn't it, Sharon? That not scared of.
Yeah,
so you've got little Dot now.
Yeah, young Dot. Yeah.
7 months since.
7 months. She's flat out. She's doing well. Yeah, getting a bit of character about her.
Right.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's great.
So has that changed your life at all, having Dot? Do you feel like you've calmed down at all?
If anything, I've gone more. Because I've got bored of conventional motorbike racing now. Because I've just been doing it for 15 years, and TT, it's just a bit. So I've gone to do daft push bike races to try and push myself further, right? And that's all right. And now I've started building daft things in my shed with daft horsepower. That's my next big thing. I'm trying to do 300 mile an hour in a mile on a bike I built in my shed. Got a couple of mates helping us. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm just trying to do stuff that's not been done before. I'm just trying to, because you know what I mean? If I'm going to race the Isle of Man TT, which is an amazing event, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm just sort of, I've no interest in it because I'm not getting excited about it anymore. And I thought, if I'm riding round a place like that without getting a buzz from it, hang on, you need to, I'm riding round scary places in the Isle of Man thinking, what am I having for me tea? What am I having for me tea? What's on at work? What's happening at work?
Really?
What's happening at work? And if I'm thinking like that, doing a race like that, I do not need it. That's going to end in disaster. Yeah. So I think, hang on. And so I think I've made a wise move to take a step back from that and try and channel my energy into other things. So I'm building a daft tranny van in my shed with a mid-engine. We're going to try and, I don't know if we can say, can we say it? I'm going to try and break a lap record on a Nürburgring with it. I'm going to try to, but I'm building it in my shed, and it's summertime. I'm not trying building this 800 horsepower bike to try and do 300 mile an hour in a mile. And then I'm trying to do another daft push bike race, and my missus, she's sort of, but you're always trying to do, But these things, when I do them, they will be grabbing all of my attention. I will be,
What happens though if Dot turns around to you one day and wants to be a motorcycle racer? Is that all right?
Yeah, but she'd have to fund it herself and do it herself. I just think it'll make it. That's what, like for me, I did all right in motorbike racing. I was all right because I only ever did it as a hobby. But what gave me the hunger, motorbike races, the top end motorbike racers, obviously they've got massive drive and they've got massive amount of natural talent. Well, I have no natural talent, but the amount of drive that I had was, I would have done anything. I was just working stupid. I was doing anything just to be able to earn enough money to go and race bikes. And why I did all right out of it was because I had the hunger. That's what gave me the hunger. He's just, he had to go earn the money, had to go and do it. I was the hungriest man. Me now wouldn't have wanted to race me then. Because I would have done anything.
Animal.
I would have done anything. But with no natural talent, I was just winging it. So if she wants to do it, great, but you're going to have to fund the job yourself. I'll help you where I can. But
But you say that about natural talent, but honestly, the things that you've done, I mean, I know the people that you've worked with, and you get into any machine, and you can balance it straight away, you can sort the handling out. You are good at what you do very, very quickly. You do have this innate talent for being able to jump on something or in something and drive it fast. That's natural talent, isn't it?
It's just having a bit of feel for something. It's like a feel for tightening a nut and a bolt up. It's just that feel. You've got that knack. You've got a
Well, you're good at tightening bolts up.
I'm all right. Yeah,
I'm all right.
Apology.
So just finally going back to Dot then, what would be the best job for her? What would you like her to be? In an ideal world.
Sharon, she wants to just go on the West End. But she'll do what she wants. She'll go work in Tesco's if she wants. But me personally, I'd want her to become a coded welder.
A welder?
A coded welder, yeah. Vertical alley, yeah. I do honestly, yeah. But if she can do whatever she wants. But if she could be a coded alley welder, vertical alley, that's the hardest. Vertical, vertical alley welding. If you know about coded welding.
Well, it's not my specialised subject, but I know what you're talking about.
I can weld alley, and I'm all right, but I'm not as good as I want to be.
I'm thinking of Flashdance now. I've gone back to the 80s.
Yeah, well, that was just cutting. That was oxyacetylene cutting. That's not really the same as welding. You'd understand that. You'd understand.
But you
those
see,
that know.
This is what I'm getting at, though. You see, you could combine the two loves there: the dancing from the West End and the welding at the same time.
Possibly.
Perfect.
Possibly.
It
should be whatever she wants to be. Whatever she wants to be. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she's going to have an incredible life. That's
she can do what she wants. I'm not bothered. We weld. Yeah.
Guy, you mentioned, we sort of touched there on other projects, things that you're interested in, and you've talked previously about breaking the land speed record on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's what you really want to do. But you do realise that if you did that, you'd have to be knighted and become Sir Guy Martin.
That's not happening, is it? Let's be honest. Hey.
Everyone is breaking the land speed record.
I can't even speak the Queen's English, can I? I'm not going to get knighted. Let's be honest. No, I doubt that very much.
What else interests you? Paris-Dakar? Anything?
Yeah. Spoke about the Dakar. In a truck. We was in Russia at the start of the year. And I was with Kamaz, which is a Russian truck company, and they've won the Dakar for the last 16 years. So I was talking to them boys, trying to get my foot in there, but they only employ Russian drivers, Russian mechanics, because it is such.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if I've got me. I don't know because it's such a tough event. That's what I love. I've sort of got into with mountain biking. Just give me that. I'm on the toughest race. I want the toughest mountain bike race. So that's what I did 2 years ago. I went and did the toughest mountain bike race because I just love pushing myself. So whether it's the Dakar or we've been trying to do 400 mile an hour in a motorbike. We've been trying to do that. But that's all gone a bit, That's why I'm trying to do my own thing. Like, I could never fund 400 mile an hour in a motorbike. We've been doing it with Triumph, and Triumph, a great company, but just a bit of organisation. Come on. Someone needs to go kick up the ass. They really want to do it. They want to be the world's fastest motorbike. They want to be the world's first motorbike to 400 mile an hour. No one's ever done 400 mile an hour. But we need a bit of organisation. We've had like 3 wasted trips to Bonneville the last 3 years, and I just hang on, boys, hang on. We need to go to Bolivia. That's where it needs to be at. But Bonneville, they want to do it at Bonneville because they want to call, the famous Triumph Bonneville. That's why they want to do it at Bonneville. But Bonneville's knackered now for doing land speed records on motorbikes. It's just, it's not.
So watch this space for that one.
Whether that'll happen, and if it does happen, hopefully I'll be part of it. Hopefully, but the thing I can do myself is try and do 300 mile an hour. Right. On a road-based bike in a mile, which has never happened. Boys have been near, but no one's ever done it. So I'm trying to do that myself, and that's not a TV thing. I'm just trying to build it in my shed and go and do it myself.
What's this about a campsite?
The campsite. We're trying to do that. That's another thing, but that's only right at the infancy. What we're trying to do is my passion for building stuff in sheds, because I was saying, engineering. Well, I would never say I'm an engineer. I just like mucking about and building stuff in a shed, and it's just my passion for my shed. I want to try and pass that on to kids, and it's passion for the shed and passion for job satisfaction. That's why I love my job, fixing trucks, because I'm a 36-year-old and I still can't get to work quick enough because I love it. I love doing a good job, and if we can infect kids with my passion for job satisfaction. That's what we're trying to do. And
the work ethic as well that you have is.
Go on. About my work ethic? What do you mean? Go on.
It's never ending, is it? It's 100% work ethic. You're always working. I mean, you don't have week. Do you have many holidays?
I'm not going to lie. We've just had a 4-day holiday. Yeah, because we've got
4 days.
I know. Shazza wanted 10 days, but I said no. We met in the middle. We went to Monkey World. They nearly kept me in. We were going to struggle to get out the door. We went to Monkey World, and then we went to where else did we went to Bewley. Went to Bewley Museum, and we went to Southampton. We just had a bit of it. Then we in the tranny with the push bikes. We went around the New Forest with Dot on the push bike.
Nice.
Shazza had Dot on the push. Yeah, so we went there. So that was.
Sounds like you still owe Sharon 6 days though.
I do.
Let's move on then to your travelogues that you've been doing. You mentioned that you were in Russia earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which is going to come out soon.
I don't know when is that going to come out.
Next thing out on Channel 4, I think, isn't it?
When did they say it's going to come out?
I think it's end of July. This one's coming
End of July,
out.
right?
We're not certain.
Right, okay.
That.
So we had a month in Russia and the Ukraine.
Right. Well,
Russia and the Ukraine.
Before we talk about that, let's take a peek, shall we?
Go on.
Wow.
Yeah, that Chernobyl job was interesting. Yeah.
Can't wait to see that.
400 times more energy release than there was in Hiroshima. In Chernobyl power, amazing. So, that's knackered for 2 million years out. That arc that they're building is only going to keep the job right for 100 years. It's, amazing. That diamond mining, it was there for a month. Bloody amazing. Yeah.
Really, really interesting. But you seem to go to really rough parts when you do these travelogues.
Yeah. I'm not. I've never met Judith Chalmers, but I'm not. What did she do? She was.
Wish you were here.
Yeah, wish you were. That was it.
You wouldn't be interested in going around the Caribbean.
I'm not a Caribbean sort of beach sort of boy, really. I'm not, a cruise man. No. If we're going to go somewhere, I want to go somewhere. I want to see and proper Russia or India or China or Latvia, wherever we went. Do some learning and just see, at the root, it's, the grassroots. That was bloody, being allowed in the diamond mine. Being allowed, I'm here to that back wall. That was the distance I was from Reactor 4, and Reactor 4 is the one that went kaboom. I've been in Reactor 4 control room. Just like the TV stuff, the attention. But when I get a chance to do things like that, money couldn't buy opportunities like that.
No.
Amazing.
No, incredible. When you went to the diamond mine, did they search you when you came out? I'm not accusing you of anything. Don't they?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, comb your hair. Yeah, the Russians are so suspicious. Everyone that works there, and I was like, why is there 2,000 people working the diamond mine. You have to be checked in and checked out.
Because they normally strip search you when you come out of
Oh, well, the next thing, are your kecks off and checking up your arsehole. Checking up your arsehole, checking behind your ears, combing your hair, checking in your ears, anything you can hide diamonds, they're checking. Trust no one. Trust no one. Amazing. It was bloody amazing. And then we was cutting diamonds. We went back to Moscow for that. It was bloody amazing.
So what was your favourite bit of that trip?
The favourite bit of the Russian trip. The whole thing, the diamond mining, getting to drive the 92-ton dumper.
It's like a dream trip for you, wasn't it?
The Siberian forest. And you could see I was like a rabbit in the headlights. That was we was with the Buryats. This was like the shamans.
Yeah.
All I could think was the shamans. All I could think was, go on, what do you think? Shamans.
Oh,
you can only move mountains. No. You can only.
The song.
I can only move mountains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can move. That's all I could think when it was with them shamans. That's all. You had to be there, of course. You had to be there. You had to be there. Siberian forest. Brats. We went to the Siberian forest, which is it like? Let me get this right. Is it 1/6 of the world's landmass is the Siberian forest? It's something like that. It's some mad number like that. And I know it absorbed. The Siberian forest absorbs 1/3 of the world's CO2. Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, we was in there and I was driving the big Ponza machine, cutting the trees down. You need to see it. I struggle to put it in words.
Have to wait long
the whole
to see it.
Deforestation. But you just think, well, that's obviously not sustainable. Yeah, but it is, and we go right into it, and they're not having us on. They're growing it back faster than they're cutting it down. And you just think, well, how's that the case? But that this type of tree that they're growing,
But
it's bloody
explain
amazing.
all in the.
It's all in the program. Yeah, you'll see it. And so we had 3 weeks in Russia doing the diamond mining, the foresting, the Moscow. And the people. We was there only in end of February, March time, middle of March. We're in the middle, which was at the height of all this. Like this, the Russian poisoning.
Always something going on.
Yeah, not Litvinenko. Who was it? It was the bloke that got poisoned this time that we was accusing the Russians, and they were saying it was nothing to do with us. And we thought we was going to get turned away at Heathrow, and then we thought, we've got onto the plane to get to Moscow. We'll get turned away when we get to Moscow. And we got to Moscow, and they didn't give a monkeys. It was bloody great. There couldn't have been more inviting. There was bloody.
Oh wow, that's
the Russians were bloody brilliant, and that'll all come across in the program as long as they'll put it together.
Because when we went to film something for Formula 1 in Red Square, we literally got out of the car and within 30 seconds we had guys in jackets walk up to us and say BBC. And we felt really intimidated by the whole environment.
Is that right? No, we was the same. We got to, as soon as we landed in Moscow, we went straight from there, straight to Red Square. A bloke's asked what you're doing, showed him the permits. Yeah, no bother, get cracking.
Okay.
No bother, get cracking. It was great. Wherever, it was great place.
Amazing.
Great people, friendly people. And then that was 3 weeks, and then we had from that we went to the Ukraine, and had a week in Chernobyl. Struggle for words. Like when you say 400 times more energy was released than in Hiroshima. It's to put it in perspective, and that's knackered for 2 million years.
And India and China, and you can obviously
Latvia.
go back and have a look at those extraordinary. I'm aware that we're running quickly out of time, and there'll be a lot of people, I'm sure, that want to ask you questions. I don't want to eat too much into their time, but I just want to touch on your books, because best-selling author. 3 books, so far over 1 million copies. And I don't know if you know this, but apparently you're the only author ever to have 3 successive non-fiction books top of the Sunday Times bestsellers list.
I didn't know that.
Yeah? Can you make it 4?
We have got another one coming out. Because I said, will you write another book? And I said, well, and they said, well, no, just keep writing as you've been doing it. And me and a mate of mine have been doing them.
So can you tell us what the 4th one's about, or is it secret?
No, well, it was the last one. The last one was, the first one was the autobiography, then it was When You Dead, You Dead, and the 3rd one was Worms to Catch, and then the 4th one, I don't know if they're going to have the name. We was going to call it, hang on, I'm just trying to think what was I going to call it. I don't know if we can get away with head up my ass, because this year, you just think, that's what I was going to call it, and I don't know if we're going to get away with calling it that. Because I just thought, I have packed in racing motorbikes this year. Do you think I'd have a bit more time? My missus says, whenever someone rings up, I said, not every time, but nearly every time, I'm saying, look, sorry, I'm not been in touch. I've had my head up my ass with work. And every phone call starts with, sorry, I've had my head up my ass. So she said, let's just call the book, Your Head Up Your Ass. Because that's what it's been. This year has been more hectic than ever, just through, So just write a book on that.
I'm just trying to see how the girls were doing that then. Sorry,
Yeah.
ladies.
Head up my
Right
ass,
then.
Head up my ass.
Let's, stop
Head up
saying
my
it.
ass.
Stop saying
Yeah.
it. Stop. Zip.
Yeah, sorry,
No.
mate. Sorry, mate. But so that's, and it's just about, some of the daft stuff that went. The last
Okay.
one sort of finished with the Tour of Ide, which was the biggest challenge I've ever put myself through. And this one is through all the Russian stuff, there's some daft stuff going on in the shed. There's always stuff coming on in the shed. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. So it's,
Exciting.
It'll be another interesting read, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it will be, if you can get away with that title. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your turn to ask Guy any questions. So is it worth putting the house lights up maybe so we can see everybody? Oh, marvellous.
there's a few
Look at
folk,
that.
isn't
Hello,
there?
everyone.
There's a few folk.
So let's start with this gentleman over here. I think you're going to have to shout. I'm not sure. Oh, there is a microphone coming your way. So just chuck that over.
Sorry, I've been gibbering on a load, haven't I?
No, but that's what we want you to do.
Is that right? Is that right? Yeah.
You do it
Sorry.
brilliantly.
Sorry.
It's all good. Off you go.
Now, mate.
It was your Formula One pit stop, and did it actually live up to what you thought it'd be and how difficult
How
it
intense.
would be?
I genuinely believed that we was going to get to the 11th hour of the race day, and they was just going to pat me on the back and say, well done, mate, we'll put the proper bloke in now. But they let me go through with it. And I was always, whenever I was doing the practice pits, I was just trying to be, I just had my race head on. When I'm racing a bike, you just try everything just right. You're just going through the motions, trying to do it as accurately as I could. And I couldn't believe that they let me do it. I couldn't believe they let me do it. I just thought there was going to, 11th hour, right, all right, you've been all right, mate. You've made a bit of a TV programme, right, we'll get the proper bloke in now. But no, they let me do it. And it was
Pressure.
Pressure, mate.
Yeah,
pressure.
pressure.
And especially when we did the second stop at Spa, when, I can't remember what they called it, a stack stop, where we had to do two stops, one on top of the other. It was, tense, mate, tense.
No, both the drivers came in after each other.
And it's just, you had to be there, but it was,
I wasn't there.
and I don't know if that, I didn't see the programme, I don't know if that came across in the programme, but it was bloody,
You should watch
the
these back,
pressure,
they're
mate,
good.
the pressure.
They're good.
The pressure, it was, mate, it was the,
Okay.
It couldn't have been any more nerve-wracking.
Thank you very much for your question.
Is what?
Would you have been disappointed if you didn't go ahead and do it?
I'd been gutted, mate, because I did genuinely believe that I was good enough to do it. But it's just, you had to, when that car's coming towards you, if that car didn't stop, right, if he didn't stop within the 12-inch window, he was running over you, right? Because you had your hands on that wheel when that wheel was still moving, right? And I was pushing the wheel off against the nut as the nut was undoing. I was pushing against the wheel as the nut was undoing, as the jack was going up. It was just, mate, it was just, mate, So I would have been gutted, mate. I would have been gutted if I wouldn't have been like, because I did believe I was good enough. And I wasn't. I didn't let anyone down. I didn't let anyone down. It was great.
Thank you. Let's get another
Yeah.
question from somebody else, please. There's a gentleman down here at the... Thank you.
Hi, Guy. I'm just trying to understand something you said earlier about the cycling behind a truck.
Yes.
With all the things you've done with the TTs, the speeds you experienced in riding, why was the cycling?
112.94, yeah.
But
Well,
why was that the most
Yeah.
amazing thing?
I'm not saying the most amazing thing. I'm just saying the scariest thing is because we was there at first light. Obviously, the tide had just gone back. So we had to get the sand when it was still wet, so it was stable. Because if it was dry sand, we would just have dug a rut. And they said, right, for the TV, we need to do a couple of practice runs, do a couple of build-up runs, and then we'll go for the proper run. So we did one practice run behind the truck, and I could feel when I was following the truck that the truck's wheel tracks were making a massive difference to where I was going. It was sort of dictating what I did. And if I went from the truck's tracks to my untouched sand, it would massive instability. So I said, as soon as we did this one run, I said to the TV lot, I says, right, I swore, I said, right, fuck this. I said, we are doing one run and one run only. I said, shit or bust, because this is going to end up in a bomb scene. If we had to do practice runs, the beach was going to be full of tyre ruts, and it was just going to end up in tears. So I says, right, we do with one run, shit or bust, and that's what we did. And yeah, so I was pushing that hard on the pedals, because I was clipped in, so I was pushing and pulling that hard on the pedals. I thought I was going to rip the muscles off my legs. I have never pedalled so hard in my life. And it just the rate in which the truck was accelerating, because sometimes I'd catch him up when he was in the middle of a gear change. So I would hit the back of the truck, and then I'd bounce off, and then I'd lose the draft, and I've never pedalled so hard in my life. And it had the potential for the biggest crash ever. Because I did say to Dave, who was driving the truck, because obviously, he had a camera looking back at me, right? And if he could see what I was doing. So if I was going to crash, obviously the first thing he was going to do was press the brakes and slow down. I says, if you see me crash, keep your foot down, get out of my way, because I knew if I was going to crash, I was going to pile into the back of him. So I says, if you see anything going wrong, just put your foot down and get out of the way. Yeah. So I was the scariest thing ever. The scariest thing ever.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your question. There's a gentleman behind you.
I'm trying to beat it, though. That's the thing. Because I thought, right, that's how scared I was. Right, I want to be more scared. So I'm still trying to find that. Thing.
More fear. Yeah, can we have your question, please? Thanks.
Hiya, Guy.
Now, mate.
Everybody's proud of what you've done, as well as your family and everything. If you had not done what you've done now, what would your ideal career be, job-wise?
Fixing trucks. Fixing trucks, mate. Love it. I love it, yeah. I love it. Job satisfaction, I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I'd just be going home and mucking about with stuff in my shed. Yeah, as I always have done. That's all I've ever done since I left school. Go fix trucks and fanny about with stuff in my shed. That's it. And that, mate, so I'm sort of, in a way, I'm not saying I'm living the dream. And when I left school, that's all I was ever doing. I was just mucking about with my moped, trying to make it faster. So, and it's just escalated a bit.
Why is it trucks? What is it about trucks?
I don't know, because my dad fixed trucks. When I left school, just before I left school, I wanted to be a chef. And then I thought, I'll go work for my dad for a bit and earn a few quid. Because that's what I was doing at school holidays.
Oh, can you cook then?
No. No, but I sort of realised I wasn't that good. And then I just got in the trucks and I just looked, and I did a good job. And I thought, I'm good at this. I am good at this. I'm really good at this, yeah. I'm good at this. I'm sort of proud that I'm good at it. Yeah, that's what I do.
It's amazing that it's still your full-time job, isn't it? There's a question at the back there. Gentleman with his hand in the air. Thank you. Squeeze a few more in, so please put your hand up if you do want to ask.
Hi, Guy.
All right, mate.
A friend of mine did the Tour Divide a few years ago.
Did he? Who was that?
Jen Hill. She was Jen Hopkins then.
Right, yes.
She found it
single track.
She
wrote about it.
Single speed. Yeah, she's the hardest person I know.
Yeah.
She found it very tranquil on the race, but very jarring for a few weeks afterwards, because there was a lot of nothingness. And obviously you've spoken about like finding the attention with the fame a bit jarring anyway. Yeah. How did you find it after the race? Coming back into it, were you straight back into it, or were you straight back at work on Monday?
I was straight back.
Before you get into that, can you just explain what that is first for everybody?
Yeah, Tour Divide. You know what the Tour Divide is. No one's ever heard of the Tour Divide. It's such a left field mountain bike race, but it's the world's toughest mountain bike race. It's from Canada to Mexico. Down the Continental Divide. And the Continental Divide, the definition of the Continental Divide is, it's down the Rocky Mountains, and the definition is, to the west, the water flows to the Pacific, and to the east, the water flows to the Atlantic. That's the definition of the Continental Divide. And the mountain bike route goes no more than 50 miles away from that. It's always, and you cross it 26 times. Start in Canada, in Banff in Canada, finish in Mexico. World's toughest mountain bike race. And I've raced 24-hour mountain bike racing for years, for like 10 years. And I've been all right. I'm all right. I'm always on the podium. I'm doing all right. But always trying to find the next thing, right? That hurts doing 24-hour mountain bike races, but I want to hurt more. I want to push my body further. I want to push my brain further. I want to find the toughest thing. And I learned about this Tour Divide, and I just thought, right, that's the ultimate. And you've got to do it with no outside assistance. You can't talk to anyone you know during the race. You can't. It's just.
And this is what Jenny, isn't it?
Yeah,
your friend's name. Was talking about the tranquility, but found it hard to get back into real life afterwards.
Yeah, I wasn't worth knowing.
I wasn't worth knowing.
Right.
Sharon wouldn't, I wasn't worth
The same
knowing at the
thing
end
for
of it.
you?
I was just absolute, I mean, I've got, honestly, Tourette's as it is, right? But I was just the worst, just straight to the point, brutally honest with everything, with nothing. I was not worth knowing. Probably took, I don't know, 6 months to get it out of us. And I'm still probably like that now. It's changed me. It's changed my life doing that race. It's changed my life. It's the most dramatic thing I've ever done in my life. It's changed me. It's changed me.
It really touched you, but you were very emotional after it.
Yeah, I crossed the finish line. And I didn't know, I'd not spoken to anyone I know for nearly a month, right? And I did it in 18 days, 6 hours. And I got to the finish line. Sharon would booked a flight beforehand, but I didn't know she was going to be at the finish line. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I'd not seen anyone for a month, and not spoken to anyone for a month. And I'd got into New Mexico, and to get to the Mexico border, it's just a 60-mile dead straight road through the desert with a border station at the bottom, and that's it. And I just spent the last just plugging down this road on my mountain bike, and I got to the end. And you see, I had to put into words. I wrote about it in the book, and I just got to the end, and I just cried for no reason, and I just had to have a word with me. What am I doing? I'm an hard man, and it's just what I had put my brain and body through in that 18 days and 7 hours on the build-up to that, to that crossing the finishing line, and it's just the most satisfying thing I've ever done. And now I want to. Nothing has ever made me cry like that. Although, obviously, cry when sad things have happened, but nothing has ever made. There isn't a motorbike race that exists that would make me cry. That would do that to me, and I want to find that again. And I just had to put into words what that. It's hard to put into words what that did to me. It's just having to deal with everything. Doesn't matter, right? You're going through some of these tough sections in this race. You're climbing for days, going up mountains, and you can sit and cry. You could sit and it doesn't make a shit's worth of difference, right? It doesn't make a shit's worth of difference. You just got to get on with it.
You've still got to carry on.
Get on with it. And it doesn't matter if you're walking forward, that one step forward, that means you are one step nearer the finish. And that's what I just learned to deal with. Doesn't matter what I did or what I said or how much I screamed or what I got. Just channel your energy into getting to the finish line. And that's what I did. I just spent that 18 days just sort of getting my head down and just getting on with it.
Wow.
Just getting. I just sound mad when I say it, but that's what I was just doing. It was just an
no
amazing thing.
wonder
Changed my
it's
life. Changed my life. Yeah.
Extraordinary. Well, it sounds like the same
You're
experience.
You'll know. But I wasn't worth knowing. It changed. It changed the way I look at life now. Finishing that race,
Okay, we've got time for one more. There's a lady at the front, and no ladies have asked any questions, so please could you bring the mic down to the front? Thank you. Final one of the night then, yes please.
Thank you. Hello.
You're right.
You say that the mountain bike race has changed your life.
Yes.
But there's you've got a huge fan base. Would you ever consider getting back on a motorcycle and maybe going round the TT one more time?
Nah, job's
Never.
done, mate. Job's done. For what? For what? For what reason? Give me a reason, mate, and then
Because
why?
I bought 2 of your woolly hats. And they don't fit me.
No, mate, the TT has been fantastic to me. It's been great, but we all grow up, don't we? We all grow up. And if I'm doing that race and asking me, what am I doing? What's on at work? What's happening? If I'm not concentrating fully as you should be doing an event like that, mate, it's not for me. And I've done it. I've raced around there for 10 years. Mate, I'm bored of it. I've had enough of it, mate. I want to find something different. I'm not getting the buzz out of it like I used to. So that's
But you've got 2 bobble hats from it, so there's a good upside from it. So
mate, we're doing... Honestly, the thing that's lighting my fire at the minute is 300 mile an hour in a mile. And my transit van. with the engine in the back that I'm going to, try and do a few things with. But the 300 mile an hour in a mile, no one's ever done that. I'm trying to,
That sounds like it could be the next thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time. I think we've kept reasonably well to time. Don't forget, Guy's going to go outside with the Formula One car, so if you want a quick picture, I'm sure he'll
of course I can. No problem.
But for now, it's been an absolute pleasure for me. I really hope you've enjoyed the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the inimitable Guy Martin.
Cheers. Thank you.